I have a commitment for myself to spread the knowledge of anything that can help anyone at any level. As a person who seeks and appreciates knowledge, I have heard the following interpretation for the most well-known among Muslims surah or chapter, and it is the first chapter in Qur'an called Al-Fatiha, or the opening. I started this project sharing what I have learned in 2020 in COVID and post for my fears of not being able to rephrase it in a way that is understandable for English speakers. I was trying to pair with a friend of mine for editing, but we both got lost in life again and was not fully completed. But here I am, trying to start before the end of this beautiful month of Ramadan, and I am open to your help and thoughts. Now, let's feed your spirit and need for wisdom to enjoy your life and make our community a better place of living for everyone. The original Arabic clip will be in the description below. So please, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe for my channel, as it means a lot to me and will help me to continue. And explained by Hasan Almaliky. People are not alike in interpreting the Qur'an. We need to make it simple because it is a very well-known chapter to all Muslims. We will start with verse number 6 because the beginning will need long time and will need another series. So the verse number 6 says, "Guide us to the straight path, the path of those you have blessed." What then is the meaning of the straight path? Again, we find the answer defined in the Quranic verses as well, since it has already been defined as the way of those obedient to Him. What then is this way of being, where Allah fully illustrates how to live and thus be on a path that is straight? Please feel free to pause the video and read carefully from the Quran what is the straight path in Surat Al-An'am, verse number 150. I will read the highlighted one. That you associate nothing with Him, honor your parents, do not kill your children due to poverty, and do not come near indecencies. Do not kill the soul which God has sanctified, and do not come near the property of the orphan, except with the best intention. And when you speak, be fair, even if it concerns a close relative, and fulfill your covenant with God. All this is my path, straight, so follow it. It is also an unfortunate fact that some people who lack discernment have widely disseminated spurious argument regarding what is meant by those who incur His wrath and those who are astray. They assert that these are the characteristics of the followers of earlier revelations. There is no basis for this at all. Stated clearly in the Quran is that whoever kills a believing person deliberately, brings the wrath of God upon him. There is thus a specificity that applies to the actions of such a person as the Quran exemplifies. Surat An-Nisa 93. Whoever kills a believer deliberately, the penalty for him is hell, where he will remain forever, and God will be angry with him, and will curse him and will prepare for him a terrible punishment. The Quran speaks directly to the natural, innate instinct of the human being, and therefore speaks to the heart of those who are inclined to follow him. It is a mistake, therefore, to imagine that this book is only for those who are simply, for geographic or family reason, a part of the Muslims Ummah, particularly those who have no real interest or are insincere in their adherence to this faith and tend to be in it for the sake of name only. The universal principles embodied in the Quran are indeed followed by people all over the world, in the East and the West. But those who profess faith, it is an error to label a general populace unbeliever or kafir casually or even passively. Only one who has known the truth and then denies it is kafir. Naturally, the opposite also applies, in that one cannot casually label a person believer unless such a person profess it and practices its principle. Being that hypocrisy is a known trait among mankind, it isn't humanly possible to judge who is truly a believer with absolute certainty. So we don't know. None is left without a message from their creator. 100% I agree about that. The message of the Quran is one that can be understood with clarity, that speaks to man's soul. The Quran that speaks to man's soul, compatible with his nature, his environment, and the time in which he lives. It is also a source of solace for the human being and speaks to his inner consciousness. The human being is given the choice of taking the path of righteousness or rejecting it. Even so, we do not have the abilities or the right to know the consciousness of any individual and thus determine if their beliefs meet the standards he has set of mankind. Judgment remains under his purview and only for him alone. And he is finishing by saying, I have contemplated Surat Alfatiah in 70 pages from Quran only. All verses were taken from Quran only to interpret Surat Alfatiah. It is wonderfully spiritual to dive in Surat Alfatiah, but takes so long time. Thank you for listening. The credit of editing Surat Al-Fatiha goes to my friend, and may Allah accept our deeds. And see you next time. I leave you with the Surat Al-Fatiha as a whole. Thank you very much.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to God, the Lord of the universe, the beneficent, the merciful, Lord of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and to you alone we turn for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not of those who have incurred your wrath, nor of those who have gone astray.
Ameen.